All right, yeah, let's finish this. Norm's been fire on this. To be fair, I think this guy, yeah, brings out a good Norm. But yeah, I've skipped the little bump transition bumper from parts. But yeah, let's go.
And we're back with Norm Macdonald and Rob Ford.
Rob Ford. Another tweet I put out that got incredible backlash. Can't say anything nice about anybody.
Can't say anything nice about the crack-smoking mayor or a convicted murderer. Yeah.
Well, you can't equate those two, you know, because we've all made mistakes with different substances through our lives and whatever.
Sure.
And I like Rob Ford. I actually wonder. I wonder if you think of this, Schneider. Rob Ford. I wonder if he is doing Chris Farley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We are, of course, talking to our producer, our executive
The
producer
great
here.
John Schneider.
John Schneider, Rob's brother, who you've
Rob
worked,
Schneider's brother.
You've worked with
or I call Rob John Schneider's brother.
Yes.
So however you look at it.
You've worked with Rob Schneider on many Rob Schneider movies. Were those fun, the Rob Schneider movies?
John as well.
Yeah.
I've worked, oh yes, they've actually been my favorite movies. I love Sandler, but Rob has always given me such leeway in movies to do what I want. And my favorite one, I think, was The Animal, where I was in the mob, and he just let me keep talking. And Deuce Bigelow 2, European Gigolo, where he had me play an old coal mining gigolo.
So do you think Rob Ford is purposely putting on the Chris Farley, mayor of Toronto?
Well,
Rob Ford?
because he has the moves down so down pat, you know, that it almost looks like.
It almost can't be real.
Physically, it looks like an impression. Yeah. But no, listen, I don't know anything about local Toronto politics anymore. You know, I used to know about them. No.
Now, I find that surprising because I've heard you say that you don't follow politics, and people are often surprised that you don't follow politics, given that you were the host of Weekend Update.
Yes, they are, yeah. But I feel like politics are just gossip, really, and you know, it's pretty easy to tell who to vote for usually. And also, I think because we come from Canada, you know, I don't know if people know the parliamentary system, but here everything's so important. Like if you vote for the wrong guy, a war might happen. Yeah. You're in Canada, it's like, what's the big, you know,
the cost
issue?
Of maple syrup might go up.
Cost of maple syrup might go up, yeah. And then we have this thing, I don't know if Americans are going to understand this, but you don't vote for the prime minister, you vote for a guy in your riding.
Yeah.
So you vote for this guy, and he goes out and he goes, we're going to fix that bridge that in Vanier. You know, and you go, I'll vote for this motherfucker because that bridge is shit.
Yeah.
And so you vote for him, and then he gets in the House of Parliament, and then he gets up and goes, hey, what about that bridge? And they go, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, I'll sit down.
But your brother is one of the...
I have to say, I do agree with him. I don't follow politics. I prefer to watch... I prefer to watch political people that... Like people that have political views. I'd rather watch real people with views than like I couldn't care about, but like it's all a bunch of nonsense. But I thought he was going to say, because I think in the UK we vote for the person we know is going to do the worst job, just so we can moan about it. There's nothing English people like moaning, like more is moaning, and I do believe a lot of people get voted in just because people know they're going to be terrible, and then they got something to moan about every day. It makes them happy.
Political
yes, he knows
correspondence
politics.
Of Canada.
Yes, he is.
Neil Macdonald.
Yes, and as you know, CBC and BBC both are very serious journalistic. It's not like here.
Yeah.
It's gotten ridiculous in America, where it's just people yelling at each other. But in Canada, they really are, you know, serious journalists.
Yeah, and your brother, one of the most respected journalists in Canada.
Yeah.
And you parody the news. Have you ever thought about how that happened, or why you chose to go these two very distinct separate ways, but still working in entertainment business, you know?
Well, you consider the news entertainment? I guess it is
Like
now.
maybe these days.
Less so in America, less so in Canada, though.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I haven't watched Canadian news in a
business,
while.
I guess I meant. The television business.
Yes. That would be a good question for Dan Rather.
Dan Rather's on the show next week. Yeah, you can call him on Skype. Let's take a call on Skype right now for Norm. You're on the air with Norm Macdonald. Go ahead with your question, sir.
Is this me now?
Yeah, that's you. Go ahead and ask Norm your question.
And can I call you Norm?
Yeah. Right?
Sounds Canadian.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell you what. I'm just wondering, Norm, and I'm not trying to, whatever. But what are you most proud of in your career, man?
I'm only really proud of one thing. What's your name?
My name's Connor.
Well, Corner.
Connor, but close.
I am only really proud of stand-up. Everything else I've done has just been an accident that came from stand-up. I've never auditioned for anything that I got. I suck at acting, but my stand-up, I'm very, 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 very proud of stand-up, and I'm ashamed of almost everything else. No, I like this interview right now.
Well,
Stand-up and this interview.
I mean, when I was just a kid in Canada, that was when I discovered stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Going to Yuck Yucks.
Yes.
And you would, were not yet on television in America at that point, but touring. And we actually have a clip of you from the early days at Yuck Yucks. Let's have a quick look at that.
That sounds awful.
A clip. An early clip, probably 25, 30 years old.
I always wanted to be a trucker, and of course I can't be a trucker because I don't have my driver's license. Makes the resume look pretty skimpy, as soon as I say that. When you get to the hobbies after they see that you don't have your license, Too bad, too, because my hobby is collecting old trucks. But I always wanted to be a trucker, driving a big truck. They're very intimidating, though, when you're in a car. You ever be behind a big truck full of trembling logs right in front of you? Holy cow. Sometimes you see those trucks where the cargo of the truck will be just wrecked cars. Just a bunch of wrecked cars. You go, holy cow, man, I hit this guy, I won't even notice. It's become part of the haul. 6 months later, oh, there's a guy in this one. Yeah, because you let me out already. I got a kink.
How does it feel to look at that? Do you remember that? Remember that bit?
I don't remember the bit, but it makes me feel bad looking at it because I don't like it. Because, it takes so long to be good at not at anything, but specifically at stand-up. And when you look at old stand-up, it's not a lot of fun because I'm sure it's like that with everything. I'm sure like Picasso was like, what the fuck is this shit? Fucking nose looks like a nose.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? But
how old were you there in that clip?
And my voice was way up high.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I used to freeze with fear, and my voice would be normal, and then as soon as I got on stage, my voice, something happened to it. And do you notice my voice is high and
I've noticed actually in some of your older clips that you are speaking a higher...
Yeah. Decibel?
Yes. Yeah. But that's those were the.
I'll tell you something interesting, and John Schneider's part of this story too, but in such a small way, I should never have brought it up. But when you decided you were going to be a stand-up, and you called it a return to stand-up, but let's be honest, you were never a stand-up
No, just
before.
Sort of, not really, no. Did amateur night at Yuck Yucks.
I would say 5 years ago you started.
Yes.
Was that right?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And I remember you talking about it with me on your show, your previous show. You went down, I was doing, I believe, the Irvine Improv, and you said, could I do a spot?
Yeah.
Johnny came down with you. You went on stage, and I gotta say, I'd never seen a guy go on stage that in command of the audience. You went on, you bounded on stage with complete control of the audience, and I didn't know that you really worked with audiences before that.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, I know you would go on the street, and that's
just more
an audience
more
too.
the audience on the TV show and the
but
studio
that's an
audience. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I always feel like a studio audience is in on it.
Well,
they're in on it. Like these, you got a studio audience here, a small one. They're in on it.
Yeah.
They're with us. They're not going to heckle us. But you know, you go on you go and do stand-up, and these motherfuckers will tear you apart. You don't get a laugh for 5 minutes. They hate your guts.
Yeah.
When I started writing, you know, I got a job on Roseanne, you know, a great show. And I'd look at the script, I go, well, every fucking joke's gonna bomb. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
I go, nothing's gonna work, because I was comparing it to stand-up.
Sure.
Whereas if I went up with these jokes in stand-up, I'd have no chance.
Right, right.
And so that's what I love about stand-up so much. The quality of the material has to be so high. Or if it's not the quality of the material, it's the showmanship, you know, which I think you excel at.
Well,
and I remember when you
very nice of you to say.
When you first started, you were going, oh, let's do crazy shit. Like I get a call from Tempe, and I go, is Tom's there this week? Go, that crazy motherfucker's out on Main Street wearing an aluminum suit and shit, and getting people to march.
For some reason, I thought when I started touring that maybe if I asked my audience to show up and wrap tinfoil around their head before the show, that might help with ticket sales.
Yeah.
It's sort of.
And I think I saw on YouTube, because I always follow you, you know?
Yeah.
You know I always follow you.
Yes.
And I think I saw you and a bunch of motherfuckers jumping into a swimming pool in a Holiday Inn.
Right, yeah, in St. Louis. Yeah, no, I've been loving it on the road. Okay, we're going to talk more about life on the road, stand-up comedy with Norm Macdonald, taking your calls. We'll be right back after the breaks.
I love what you said about stand-up, because stand-up is actually my favourite. Or podcast. Like, now podcasts are a thing. But yeah, I always think stand-up is a bit like fighting, whether you like MMA or boxing, where you don't realise how good someone is at it until you see like an average person do it. Because when someone's good at it, it just looks so like yeah, it's. But when you watch people that aren't as good, you go, wow, I really see that. You see the difference. But yeah, I'd definitely say that Norm is on my top stand-up list. But I've actually, if it wasn't that clip of him younger, I've seen a young Norm. But yeah, his voice was crazy high in that.
We're back. We're here in the studio with Norm Macdonald. We're taking your calls, and we have
I'd like to say one thing before we take a call. Mark Cuban, who owns this network, I predicted on Twitter, and it was a long shot prediction, that he would win the championship 3 years ago. He did.
Yep.
And I took my son, we're the biggest fans ever, to Dallas and watched, and he's a great man. And I thought at the time I should have put him on the sports show so I could go and be backstage and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you should
But maybe because I'm on this show.
Maybe you should do a sports show here on this network.
He offered me that.
Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, well, we have
maybe just a Dallas Mavericks sports show.
Yeah. We have a surprise call here from Epic Mealtime.
I love Epic Mealtime.
Harley Morenstein and Adam Sand are on the
these guys are
phone.
awesome.
Hey, Harley, how are you, man?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Long time no see, buddy.
Yeah, are you in Los Angeles right now?
No, I'm in Canada.
Okay,
where I belong.
It looks like Canada, actually.
Looks like
a very Canadian basement.
It's what an American would say. I'm in Canada. What fucking city are you in?
We're Montreal.
Oh, beautiful city. Goddamn.
So
I was born in Quebec City.
I know.
You know that?
I know all about you, Norm.
Goddamn.
So have you guys met before? Have you met Norm before? Do you guys know each other?
No, but Norm said my name once. I heard him say it on the computer.
I love Epic Mealtime.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Epic Mealtime loves you. You guys should come on Epic Mealtime together or alone, however you want.
No, that'd be fun.
So are you shooing new
episodes? I only work with Tom now.
Yeah, we're gonna do a new
like the
comedy.
Smothers Brothers.
Yeah.
I like that. We should do a nice Canadian edition.
Yeah.
So Harley, do you have a question for Norm or anything?
Yeah, well, I actually thought that I would pass my question along to my buddy Adam over here because he's been dying to ask this question.
Yeah, I've been dying to ask this all night.
All right, go ahead.
He advised me to ask this specific question.
That's not true. I don't even know what he's going to ask.
But yeah, basically, number one, I'm a big fan of the sports show, Norm.
Oh, thanks.
And also the YouTube videos. And I wanted to know the chances of you and Artie getting back together and doing a second Dirty Work.
Oh my God! I wrote a script for it, where Artie needs a heart.
Mm-hmm. Is this a real project that is in the works?
Well, I want to do it, and Artie wants to do it, and Chevy Chase wants to do it, and Chris Farley is dead.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Artie was here recently. We had a great time on the show.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I've watched every one of your shows, Tommy.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate
I
that.
might watch that.
I read Artie's book. Oh my God, it was punishingly good.
Yeah. Now, when you're friends with Artie, did you know the extent of what was going on? You know, that was
it wasn't going on when I knew him.
Yeah.
But later I got in trouble because I said, well, I think he should be off the show, Stern, because what I was worried about was he was becoming like a joke, because Artie's really, really funny. And I was like, you can't be the butt of the joke, you know? And you can't be famous as a substance abuser, because then everybody in the country is enabling you. You know what I mean? And I went to the Canyon Club and saw him perform in the midst of his problems, and it's just crazy audiences yelling, Stern Show audiences, you know. They're not built for listening to stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Well, it's great that he's doing good now, though. So this is.
He's doing fantastic. Yeah, he got a real good show there on. I don't know if it's maybe
on DirecTV.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is competition?
No, I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I don't think we think of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just. Yeah, not at all. No, you can say it. It's on DirecTV. Can I say it?
Sometimes you get a very beautifully real Norm. Because, yeah, that was actually a beautiful thing he just said about Artie. Because I thought he was going to say he didn't think he should be on the show because with substance abuse, where you're getting paid a lot of money to turn up somewhere, sit there like that is. But that, yeah, that Norm said he's becoming the butt of the joke, which we listened to the Bro Fight, where Artie says something like that you don't care, like, stop pretending you care. Like I said I was a heroin addict, and you made fun of it with like I think he said songs, and we've not heard all of that. No, to be fair, from Stern, I've only done like a little bit of Stern, but I do remember Artie saying that, so I can. So yeah, and Artie is funny, but yeah, and also what he said about you can't be a famous substance abuser because that makes everybody an enabler. That, yeah, that's a very powerful thing. Yeah, shout out to Norm. He could pull it out, Norm.
Michelle? Okay.
I love how we're plugging a fucking guy that's not even here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm plugging someone else's show.
Yeah.
No. Well, anyways, we're gonna let's take a quick commercial break. We're gonna be back with one more block. The hour went by too fast.
Too fast, man.
But
You'll have to have me back next season.
Absolutely. We have a little time left. With
When is
Macdonald.
next season?
Stick
3
around.
weeks from now?
Yes, absolutely. But it's the first show of the second season right now. Absolutely. We'll be back.
Right, hold on 2 seconds. I've got to make some more coffee. Finish this off. Let's go.
We're back. This has been a lot of fun as always.
It went so fast.
We know it's not over yet. We still
How
have.
many times have you interviewed me?
We've done that. Well, you know, on the web show, you used to come up to my house and do the web show many times.
Yeah. Then you did a podcast with Kevin Smith.
Yeah. I wanted, you know, because some of those shows would become just more like a free-form kind of craziness type of thing. You know, remember the night the mountain was on fire and we were just singing about
there was a mountain on fire.
Yeah.
And you used to send up fucking UFOs and shit.
Yeah, we would launch UFOs. I have often thought about that, thinking that was probably some sort of an FAA illegal act of some sort, launching helium-filled UFOs off of the deck. But what I want to ask you, because
those were the days.
Still, this is an interview. At the end of the day, I am interviewing.
Yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
So when you got to perform, and I've talked to you about this before, in front of the President of the United States at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, did you get nervous?
I didn't get nervous about the president or any of that shit. What I got nervous about is before we went, and he was showing us all the motherfucking shit, and the podium where you stand is bulletproof.
Okay.
And there's men everywhere with guns and shit. And it made me realize that the presidency, like if I was elected president, the first thing I'd say is, I quit.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to do all my speeches from here in this compound underneath the earth.
Sure, sure.
From now on.
So you feel the security
on
presence.
account of some motherfucker shoot me.
Right.
And these guys aren't shot by, you know, anybody. You know, listen, if you're willing to lay down your life, like it says in Line of Fire, starring Rene Russo. You catch my drift. That's the only thing that I was afraid of.
We have a clip from this.
From the presidency?
From the White House Correspondents'
Dinner. It's very inspiring to see President Clinton up here on crutches making a speech. I mean, I thought that was just amazing, you know. I mean, it's been difficult for the president. You know, he can't jog now, and he needs help getting around, and he still, you know, occasionally suffers great pain, you know. On the upside, you got your medical marijuana, so that's, you know. You must inhale, sir. It's the only way you're going to get better.
I have to say that's the two things that I think if people know Bill Clinton over here, that's the two things we know. That he banged someone in the White House and he smoked weed but didn't inhale.
I hope I have time to tell this quick story.
Yes,
how much time we got?
We've got a lot of time.
So after you go in a big room and the president comes in, be 200 people in the room, right? And he's going through with his wife. Now he looks like a big fucking stoner, big red face, happy as hell, and you want to meet him. His wife, the most sour looking bitch you ever laid eyes on. So anyways, he's walking, he's talking to every guy, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. I wonder what he's talking to everybody about. I wouldn't know how to do that. Talk to every single person as he moves. And so at the time, I had a sandwich and a pickle and everything. So he's walking by me, and Lori Joe, who's here, was with me, and walks by, and he shakes my hand. You're kind of in shock meeting someone that famous, you know? And he said to me, he said, I see you're eating a pickle. And he moved on. Right. And I was like, that's the coolest motherfucker I ever met. And then late at night, I woke up like in the movies, in a cold sweat, and I was like, that fucker just asked me about a pickle.
Yeah. That's basically what he does. He goes around probably just says the first thing.
He sees something, yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd see you, he'd go, nice shirt, you know, move on to the next guy.
But that's got to be a great feeling to be able to look at that piece of video and see the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, doubled over in laughter because of one of your jokes?
I don't look at it that much, but you know, you can fake it.
Yeah. Yep.
Dan Rather, you can next week you can have a clip of Dan Rather.
Yeah, you do a joke about his smile.
Oh, you saw it, yes. I said, there's Dan Rather with his frozen smile. Yeah. He's enjoying the show. And then it cut to him and he had a frozen smile. You watched the whole fucking thing?
Oh, yeah, I've watched it a few times.
You research like a motherfucker.
That's widely considered to be the best White House Correspondents' Dinner routine ever.
Oh.
On the internet.
It is?
I think so, yeah.
Well, we put a lot of work into it, that's for sure. Yeah.
Is it fun just speaking to powerful people like that and taking the piss out of them a little bit?
Yeah, I think so, you know, because you can say whatever you want, you know, and sometimes they're doubling over in laughter. I tell you who never doubled over in laughter was that fucking bitch he married. Yeah, you know her? Salary Rodham.
Yeah, So you're not a fan, I take it, of the next president of the United States?
I just go by personality.
Sure, okay.
Since unless the guy's going, I'm going to bomb, I'm going to go to war. When I was young, Reagan was around. I don't know if he's a good president or not, but he was funny as hell. I remember the funniest thing I heard Reagan say. He got shot, right? Attempted murder. Tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Got out. I don't know what it was. 3 weeks later, he gets out, and he does a press conference at the very site where he was shot. And one reporter asked, does it make you nervous at all that you're standing in the very spot that you were shot? And Reagan goes, well, I don't do an impression of him, but Reagan goes, well, no, I'm not that nervous, but just to be safe, I didn't wear a new shirt. I thought that was the fucking funniest joke I ever heard of president.
Do you think he would have prepared a line like that? I mean, that just sounds, or was he just that funny?
I think he was like a naturally funny guy, and one of those guys that was an Irish wit. You know, I grew up with Irish and Scottish people, and they had that wit, you know, that quick, bleak kind of gallows humor wit that he had. Yeah.
Well, Norm, I appreciate you coming on the show again today.
Oh, it was fantastic, man. I hope you have me back.
Absolutely.
Now, your third season starts next week.
Next week is the third season. And, no, thank you very much. Always great to have you here supporting
I'd love to come back in 2 months and do the 35th anniversary.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Norm Macdonald, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Good night, everyone. See you next week with Dan Rather. Good night.
There's a few things I want to say. One, taking the piss. I always think Australians are the closest to the English or to the British with things they say. But I'm guessing, because I think they're both Canadian. I know Norm is, but I'm guessing he is. But he said taking the piss. Now, Americans, I know that's not an American, like Americans don't say that. They say like breaking balls or whatever. But that was quite interesting to hear someone say taking the piss. Yeah. But there was something else in another video where it was something a Canadian said, and I was like, wow, like, I thought that was something that was like kind of, like I say, Australia is the most similar in how they talk, but I think Canada has quite a lot of similarities with us too. But yeah, also, I think I agree with Norm. Yeah, about presidents and that, because I have to say I'm the same. What he said about was it Reagan? Did he say about or Nixon? That or Reagan? I don't know, but yeah, whoever he said it about. I think that with Trump, like I had someone say in a comment, something like, it's the same thing really that people say when they unsubscribe is, I really like the music ones, but blah. But this one was a Trump one, and they said that like, yeah, I can't deal with me supporting Trump. I didn't bother writing back because, to be honest, I was like, it's like whatever to me really. But yeah, I did think supporting Trump. Like, I don't think I've ever said anything else about Trump other than exactly what Norm said about him, that he's funny. And if you don't think he's funny, then it's like, I know people think he's the next Hitler but the man's funny. Like, and I remember that's what I was saying in that video. And someone was like, all this support for Trump. One, I ain't American, so it's kind of irrelevant. But two, I don't vote for anyone anyway. And if I was American, I wouldn't vote for anyone anyway. I just find the whole thing is just something that just doesn't really, it doesn't interest me whatsoever. Like, I would never go somewhere to vote. Like, never. I find the whole thing quite weird, to be honest. But like Norm said, it's like some people just go, yeah, they're funny. Whether you agree with them or not, you can't deny people are funny. Like Jesse Lee Peterson. Like, I don't agree with everything Jesse Lee Peterson says, but I find pretty much everything he says funny. He's so funny, like childishly funny as well. Like, so just, yeah, such a troll. But don't mean I agree with everything he said, but the man's funny. There's no denying it. He's got an incredible delivery and he's incredibly quick. Right. Yeah. But yeah, I can't remember who it was that done that. It was like, yeah, someone unsubscribed and don't watch the. I think that was called like Musication or something like that. But they said supporting Trump. I thought I don't think I've really ever said much about Trump, other than that he's hilarious. He is hilarious. But yeah, the hit Norm on Hillary as well. I'm guessing this must have been quite recent if he said the next president, or did she run before? Did she run? I think she ran against Obama for the Democratic Party, and Obama beat her. But this, if he was saying she's going to be the next president, it must have been the Trump election. Unless, I don't know, did she run before? She might have. But I also like what he said about Bill Clinton. Chris Cornell says that about the Queen in his book. Yeah, he talks about the Queen. I'm sure it was. Yeah, I'm sure it's the Chris Cornell book. But he met the Queen at some gig, and he basically said like she was just polite to everybody. He's like, she spoke to everybody, was polite to everybody, and Chris Cornell's like, it gave him respect for her, is because he's like, she doesn't have to. She's the Queen. She doesn't have to give people that bit of time. But she's like, oh, he's like, she was old, but she's still taking the time out to go from person to person and have a little chat and and he's like, yeah, he's like, she was just so polite to everybody. But that's kind of her job. But yeah, like you said, she doesn't have to be. You can be a right. You're the Queen. Do you know what I mean? It's like you could go and swing your royal nuts around everywhere. But yeah, no, that was something I thought, because I did think, how would Chris Cornell? Because I know some Americans really love the Queen, and probably more than most English people do, to be honest. But also, Chris Cornell's like a rock and roller and a rebel, and I was thinking, what was? But yeah, he said I was actually kind of surprised by her that she's so polite. Yeah, and the fact that she doesn't actually have to be, and it kind of struck him as like, wow, yeah, fair play. But yeah, 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 that's the reaction. Sweet.